Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, you know me. My name is Dr. Keith McNally, and this is Coach's Corner. I'm here with, and I'm going to get this right, Deepika
Yeah,
Sandhu.
perfect.
Fantastic. And based on your profile on LinkedIn, you are an authenticity coach, which is the first and only coach of that type that I've ever read or come across. So, one, you are authentic, and two, you are unique. And the story that you're about to tell us, I think, proves that.
Why, thank you. I like to think that I'm authentic and unique too. I actually think we all are, right? And we can all show up in our lives as our most authentic self. And that is exactly what I help my clients to do for themselves.
Cool. And well, don't stop there. Let's go back to just who you are and the name of your business, and then really tell us how that works.
Yeah, so I'm a Silicon Valley business executive, authenticity coach, best-selling author. And my whole journey starts from wanting to do everything right, checking all the boxes in my life of what I thought would make for an amazing existence. Just doing everything that my teachers and my parents and social media and Hollywood and Bollywood told me would make for an incredible life. But after doing all of those things, after quite literally having it all, I realized that I had been checking boxes on things that I didn't even know if I actually wanted in my life. And I went through my own personal transformation, my own personal journey that I chronicle in my book, Hello Universe, It's Me, where I had to schedule a breakdown and really, for the first time in my life at age 40, ask myself, what is it that I actually wanted in my life? This led me on a path to really shake it all up and change things and tune into who I really was, not who everybody else wanted me to be or expected me to be, and transformed my entire life to be this authentic person that I am today, showing up as all of me in every space in my life, at home, at work, and everywhere in between. And it is exactly what I help other people to do through one-on-one coaching, corporate workshops, inspirational speaking, and the like. So,
So, how does that really work? What does it mean to be an authenticity coach? Who would come to you and ask for help to be authentic? That doesn't quite make sense to me. I know it makes sense somewhere deep down in my gut
yeah,
because we all want to be our own person, but you help people become their own person. Yes? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. When you're getting that inner intuitive nudge, that little feeling within that something doesn't feel right, I'm not living this life the way that I want to be living, or I'm just on the merry-go-round, that hamster wheel, doing things the same way day in and day out, each and every day, as a mom, as a dad, as a professional, as all the different hats that we wear, but not actually feeling that degree of fulfillment or joy from within that we used to have in our days, right? And we used to believe in ourselves and we used to have dreams and aspirations for ourselves. But so many people were like what I was like, which is suddenly realizing that all these dreams and aspirations weren't even my own anymore. They weren't what truly lifted me up and moved me forward. And being able to be you in every aspect of your life is not only empowering, it's just so freeing,
Mm.
right? To be in your life in the way that you actually want to be in it. So yeah, people aren't going to look in the phone book for an authenticity coach, I suppose. But if you're feeling burnt out and if you're exhausted and if you're overwhelmed and if things aren't feeling the way that they're feeling and there's something more there and you're tired of just trying to forget about it by drinking too much or fantasizing or eating too much and shopping too much and all the things that we do to numb our lives, then it's time to get underneath it, right? It's time to have your own scheduled breakdown like I did and, break through to all of you and showing up as that person each and every day.
Well, before we get to that scheduled breakdown component of, I guess, is the process of becoming authentic, tell us what does it mean to be one authentic, and how did you make that transformation just in we've done this in the question guy, but
Yeah.
when somebody's going to come to you for proof of, proof of purchase, proof is in the pudding. They need to know that you struggled and you transformed, because that's going to give that person hope and at the very least encouragement and motivation to do the same.
Yeah. I struggled and I changed and I unleashed this new life that I'm living that is better than anything I could have ever imagined. But what I also did was I put my Silicon Valley consulting hat on and I decided that I needed to figure out what I did step by step so that I could share it with other people, truly create a methodology, create the process that you could follow. And I like to say that breakthroughs are guaranteed in the work that I do, because with every single person that I've coached with, that I've helped transform their own lives, they are having breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And it's because I take them through this step-by-step process, the methodology, the way, the playbook. I've created it for everybody to do and apply it to themselves in their own lives. And it just unleashes so much insight and transformation for everyone that I work with, which has been incredible, right?
So do you tell people that you're going to need to schedule your personal breakdown? Is that the words that you use? Because that's the words you use for yourself.
That's what I use for myself. But what I like to say to other people is I don't want you to get to the point where you have to schedule your breakdown, right? Let's deal with what's happening up front so you don't get to where I got to, crying on the floor of my closet, not seeing any path forward, not knowing what to do, only knowing that I wasn't going to wake up at 50 the way that I was feeling at 40, right? I don't want people to get to the scheduled breakdown. I'd like to give them the express pass to get past that and get straight to all those amazing breakthroughs that await them.
So without giving away a lot of the secret sauce, that you said there is a process, there's a pathway, I imagine. So in order for somebody to recognize that it's time to change and they just don't know how, before they get to the point of breaking down, where how does somebody reach out to you saying, I'm almost there. I don't want to cry, but I'm almost there. And
Yeah.
what is that? What, where do you start working with people? What's that first word or first sentence that you give people?
I love that. I get to people when they are feeling the wobble. I like to call it the wobble, right? Life is just not feeling steady. Life is feeling uncomfortable. They are getting those little nudges from within that things need to shift and they just don't know how. They are clear enough that they know something's got to change, right? And they don't know how it'll change. And I had one of my clients describe it as getting your new best friend who's going to help you through the process and hold your hand and take you there. And that's a lot of what I do is like, all right, I got you. Let's go, right? And help them move from wobble to feeling a lot more stable as themselves in this life that they're living.
Now, when we talked on another episode of the Question Guy, you said you scheduled 4 weeks out. You gave
Yeah.
yourself 4 weeks, but in reality, it was a much longer transition than just 4 weeks. You picked up the pieces and had some clarity after 4 weeks, but it was much longer a process. What do you tell people as a coach about the amount of time this is going to take you? And I know it's going to be different for each person, but they have to invest the energy, but it's going to take time.
Yes. Any coach that tells you there's a quick fix, an easy solution, a magic elixir that you can take or do in order to transform your life is not telling you the truth, right? Change, and especially lasting change, does take time, right? For me, that journey was not just those 4 weeks that I was fortunate enough to take off of work and really peel back the layers on my life, but it was a much longer journey. And I think when you start this process, you realize there's just so many layers to keep unlocking. And you become a little more fearless about unlocking those layers too once you start. So there are things even now, almost 5.5 years post my scheduled breakdown, that I'm still unlocking and discovering for myself, right? My evolution continues. But I think that big dramatic changes that sort of shifted my life in epic ways early on, I mean, it took time. But the time, I think, is commiserate to the commitment that you're willing to make in investing in the change, right? If you want the quick fix solution, it's not out there, right? And if that's your degree of commitment, is the few weeks or the 1 month or the whatever, you're going to get about that much of a result too, right? But if you're committed to making changes to your full lifestyle, right, and the full way that you think and your mindset, and to like all the pieces that put this together, you will absolutely 100% realize lasting change. It's like a fad diet versus, actually just starting to eat more nutritiously and incorporate more movement into your days as a just natural state of being versus something that you think you can take this pill or do this crash diet and have the results. People really may get a result from that, but it's temporary, right? We want to create lasting results.
So with that, what how do you know when your client is ready to say goodbye and live life without well, you called yourself their new best friend, or they're calling you their new best friend. Um, maybe you do hold on to them as friends and colleagues post, client coach relationship. How do you know, or how do they know when they're ready to kind of take that next step without you holding their hand? Because I think that's really when
Mm.
they know they've achieved something in terms of change.
That's such a great question. And I think that's different for each person. Some people can go through the program, work with me for 10 weeks, and they're off to the races. Like they got this, right? And they're just going to keep going. And we may check in periodically, just like I would any friend, and see how things are going. And then you have others that have been with me for, 9 months, a year, because they continue to want that ongoing support. But what I don't want to be for anybody is their crutch, right? I very conscientiously in my program, in my teachings, in my coaching, are teaching everybody the life skills that they need, the tools, the techniques that they can be incorporating into their everyday life and using into the future when anything comes and shakes them up again, because life is doing life to us, right? We are going to have situations that shake us up, but I want your toolkit to be full of things and resources that you can go to at any time, and it's not tied just to me. That's certainly not my objective in the people that I coach. I want them to go off and live their great lives, and I want to hear what's happening, and I want to be able to support them for as long as they may need, but it really does vary for each person.
So with that, and just with the time remaining, two last questions. One, where can people find you? Because I want to make sure that that's content is with this video. So where can people
Mhm.
find you?
You can find me over on LinkedIn, Deepika Sandhu on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram at deepikasandhu.co. And you can also go to my website, deepikasandhu.co.
So with that, for our audience listening right now today, or whenever that is, a word of hope, inspiration, encouragement, empowerment, or just say, come knock on my door and we'll fix something. Give our audience something in 30 seconds or less.
Oh, lately, the phrase I've been saying to people is keep going. You get that intuitive nudge, you get that little moment where you're like, I think things could be different. I think it could look a different way. I think something needs to change here. When you hear that for yourself, honor what you hear and keep taking the steps in that direction. Keep going. Even if it's tiny little steps, they all count. Just keep going.
There can be anything better than that. Just keep going. I think I heard that in a movie once. But Deepika, this is a fantastic conversation. Thank you for spending the last 15 minutes with me, and I wish you the very best. For those who are watching and listening, this has been another edition of Coach's Corner, and we thank you for joining us. Take care.
Thank you, Keith.
You're very welcome.